live!
We should be live.
Are we?
I believe
live?
so.
Okay.
Well, we're gonna assume that we're live. So, hello everyone. Thank you for joining us for the first ever new live show that Kyle and I are doing. We're planning to do this on a weekly basis. We're calling it Awesome Hardware because that is a combination of my channel's name, which is Paul is Awesome, and Kyle's Hardware.
No.
I flipped those.
I think
I got those backwards.
we've been spending too much time.
Brilliant.
In this room alone.
That's true. So we've been doing some preparation today. We were actually let's start off. Let's talk about the format right from the get-go because we are trying to make this a little bit different from some of the other shows that are out there. But the format is going to be actually two shows kind of in one. So we're gonna do this first half of the show, which is actually Kyle's half of the show. I don't know why I'm leading it right now. So this is Kyle's half of the show.
I'll open your segment.
Yeah, and then halfway through, we're gonna cut it off and we'll start it up again, and then we're gonna do my half of the show. We're intending it to be about an hour total, and it might go longer than that. We're not gonna stick to that too closely, and that's gonna be kind of how it goes. And then later on, if you miss it live, you'll be able to watch Kyle's half on his channel and my half on my channel, and we'll probably flip-flop it every week.
Yeah.
But
you also forgot to mention that the name of the show is Awesome Hardware, and not to be confused with the Awesome Hardware Show.
that is true. It is
Trying to stray
Awesome
away from
Hardware.
the show thing.
It is a live show called Awesome Hardware.
Right. That's correct. I feel like Awesome Hardware is already long enough.
But that's enough introduction. We should get on with the festivities.
Yes.
So as we do this on Tuesday evenings, since this is the first show ever, and I don't know if are we even live?
I think we should start off this new tradition
festivities.
with an opening ceremony, which is, of course, pouring of the chimay.
Oh,
And there it is.
goodness.
Well, that's the popping of the chimay.
Yes, the popping of the chimay. So this is
Fill her up.
a Trappist ale, which means it's made by monks,
Trappist.
Trappist monks,
That sounds like a class in Evolve.
trapper monks.
So good. They're such good trappers.
Yes, they put down the dome. What is it? The arena, mobile arena.
Yeah. A lot of meditation goes into that.
But yeah, this is
only the finest for our new show.
Grand Reserve 2012. Delicious,
That's right.
or so I assume.
Cheers.
I'm gonna pour all this.
What? No, we should make it okay.
Well, I think it should be about enough for both of us.
Oh, that was a nice pour.
Thank you, Kyle.
Look at that pour. Eh?
Mine's-
Didn't expect to see a perfect pour on tonight's show.
Woo!
Oh, that's even perfecter. You bastard.
I like perfecter. That's a good word. All right. The other thing we should mention to you guys is we do actually have a bit of a structure for this show.
Surprisingly enough.
We have an outline. We've been working on some stuff today, doing a little bit of research. So we're going to be talking, since the show's called Awesome Hardware, we're going to be talking, of course, about awesome hardware. Why else not? So tech and that sort of thing. But then we also have a few other random segments we're going to be throwing in that we will get to as well. But since this is Kyle's half of the show, he's going to start us off with his first... Actually, no, we should do an announcement first.
Okay.
I'm giving away a computer.
You are giving away a computer.
That's a quick announcement. It's going on right now. I think it's still going on for another 8 or 9 days if you guys haven't already entered. I'm guessing everyone who's here right now, since you probably follow us on Twitter, have probably already entered. But if you're watching this later on down the road, go to my YouTube channel, Paul's Hardware, and find the Silent Bill giveaway and click on the link, and you can win a computer. That computer back here, 4770K, with a GTX 960 from Zotac, a bunch of Antec parts for the case and everything.
I've already made 50 fake accounts.
Oh yeah. So we got A-bombs going off. A-bombs going off in the chat.
Wait, A-bomb? What's A-bomb? Oh, Awesome Bomb?
A-bombs. That's what Paul I am apropos when on their streams.
Ah, gotcha.
They constantly just throw around weapons of mass destruction, just willy-nilly.
Wow.
With no, it seems almost carelessly.
So much
They
passion.
toss around the A-bombs.
I feel so honored to be graced with their
Did we ever say cheers?
WMDs. Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers to the Awesome Hardware Show. Cheers to all of you guys for coming and joining and watching us.
Cheers to
First
what?
ever one. What?
Cheers to what?
Cheers to Awesome Hardware. Sorry, just totally.
10 seconds in, we're
already immediately messed up on that.
okay.
All right.
We were drinking earlier. You're forgiven. All right, so this is my segment, my half of the show. So I'm going to kick it off with a couple segments that I came up with earlier. The first of which is a segment that I'm calling "To Fund or Not to Fund."
Aha!
And it basically revolves around a couple Kickstarters or Indiegogo campaigns. Today it's just going to be Kickstarter, but I found a few. I cherry-picked a few that looked interesting, some of which you guys have most likely heard of already. But then Paul and I are just going to go back and forth a little bit and kind of decide whether or not this is a worthy investment of our top dollar. So
Now, right from the get-go, though, when it comes to Kickstarter campaigns, like, I've been kind of considering these more along the lines of, like, pre-ordering a video game.
Yeah.
Like, and I trust it less and less. One of the things I saw recently, and this is completely unfounded, I didn't double-check this. This could be wrong, but it's something like 33% of Kickstarter games have, or 33% of games on Kickstarter have actually launched.
Wow. So that's 2/3
Which
that
seemed
never surfaced.
kind of crappy. So I'm hoping that part of this segment, Kyle, and your inspiration for it is to warn people possibly of some of these that you might not want to. But I mean, there are some good ones out there. We've definitely seen Kickstarter come through with some good projects. So
now is that 2/3 that haven't surfaced? Those were actually campaigns that had been fully funded, like successfully.
I have no
reached
idea.
Their goal? Okay.
Like I said, that could be totally wrong.
Okay.
I just spat it out right now, probably because of the alcohol. I'm gonna blame that.
Of course.
Yeah.
Sweet.
So
right.
This is Strafe.
Yes, this is Strafe. This is the first one that I picked out, and many of you guys have probably heard of it. It's kind of a retro game. It's totally a retro game that's built and designed to feel like something that was made in 1996. They even advertise it as being a 1996 game on their campaign page. The little video that they have up, you guys should watch it if you haven't already. It's absolutely hilarious. It's even shot in like a really kind of cheesy, hokey 1996 vibe, if you will. But it's basically a first-person shooter, but 1996, so it's pretty much 8-bit, so to speak. And it kind of is reminiscent of Doom, the original Doom, in many ways, because it incorporates a lot of blood and violence and gore. Basically, a lot of the same principles that Doom was made up on. But it's essentially going to be a almost like I don't want to say a parody video game, but it's purposely made to be over the top and ridiculous.
It's like an homage to.
It's an homage, yes, exactly.
To the older games that we grew up on. If you started out playing Doom way back in the day,
right? Which I've never played Doom, so.
You never played Doom at all?
Never.
I remember loading Doom off of floppies.
Wow.
I'm old.
What's a floppy?
Well.
Tell me, Grandpa Paul.
We could go a few different ways with that one.
Tell me about your floppy.
Floppy disk drive, Kyle.
Yes.
That's yeah.
Back in the day. So anyway,
do you think people should get Strafe? Is that the?
I personally do, and this is kind of maybe not as relevant of a campaign because they've already, as you can see, 191,000.
They're very close. They have 33 hours, and they hit it.
They met it. Yeah.
They've actually hit it since we looked at this earlier today.
Yes. Yep. As a few hours ago,
So
they
cool.
hadn't met their goal, and they just.
But you can still get the game. I think it's a $15 buy-in
Yes.
to get the game, and
It
then $25 seemed to be also money that you could pay to them for their game.
And speaking to what you mentioned earlier, I hope this is one of the 33% of games that actually go through and make it.
And I will say for games like this, I mean, it might be a little bit more of a risk. I mean, less of a risk, I'm saying. You're investing less money, so it's... Sometimes if you see something and it looks cool and you're like, well, there's a decent chance that might fail, but if it's a minimal investment, then you might still go for it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So the next one I found is called Zero, spelled kind of oddly. It's basically an Android console, and I'm not too hot on Android games. I play them occasionally, very minimally.
Yeah.
Usually when I'm bored in like a waiting room or a lobby area, I'll bust up my phone and play like the new Evolve mobile app or something like that. But for Android gaming enthusiasts, which apparently it's a huge market for the mobile gaming thing, they have this device that kind of at first looks like any other Android console you've seen in the past, although they've figured out a way to allow you to use the touchscreen on your TV, or basically touch the things on your TV without having to look down at your phone. So the way they did that is they actually have a sensor pad on the controller that connects to your wirelessly to the console itself that has a sensor on the touchpad that basically pulls up these icons on the TV based on where your thumbs are. So you can actually lift your thumb about an inch, 1.2 inches above the trackpad or the touchpad,
Okay.
and it'll show it on your TV, like with little circle icons. So you actually know where you're about to press or tap on your game, which I thought was pretty cool.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so although I'm not, like I said, although I'm not big on Android games, I still do see the value in producing this kind of technology. You know, and maybe this will be something that's integrated with consoles later on, as far as like, you know, Sony and Microsoft want to play around with it.
So how much? What do you have to invest to get the thing? Early bird.
I forget what the
early bird
bare
special
minimum.
is $150.
Yeah.
That's for a zero box and a zero pad. So you need the pad, and then there's a remote box that connects to your TV too.
Right. Exactly.
I see. $150.
It's pretty steep.
That's pretty steep.
I mean, you have to be really serious.
Yeah.
That's the thing. You have to be an Android gaming enthusiast, like playing Android games all the time.
And you're limited to Android games.
Yeah.
So it's not like there's. Was there anything else in here about like possibly integrating this and using it as like a PC controller or something like that? Like
I didn't see anything about that. But
Was-
okay, one thing about the limited games, limited to Android, at the very least, other Android games, other Android consoles that have come out in the past only offered like a very extremely limited list of games. Like there was a popular one that came out a few months ago. I forget what it's called, but it had like 50 Android games on it. And it pretty much flopped because there was no variety. This one you have access to the entire Android store, the Google Play Store.
Okay.
So you have literally millions of games to choose from, and they all integrate nicely, allegedly, with the touch controller.
And I'm always skeptical when they talk about the millions of games on the Android store, because
No, that's true.
then with a device like this, you also have to deal with the possibility of like, you know, there's lots of games on the store, but will they all work with the control inputs that's given through?
Right.
It seems interesting. It's probably not something I'm going to jump on for $150.
Same here.
But definitely interesting, and it's nice to like. I like the idea of taking something like a phone, like I have my old smartphone sitting in the room, and I keep finding uses for it, and I'm like, this is a little over 2 years old. It's an older smartphone, but it's also like a tiny little tablet, and I keep finding things to do with it. I'm like, this is really cool. So taking something like that with like a nice touch interface and and a decent screen on it and everything, like, and being able to use it for to control something else.
Right.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I like doing that.
Definitely.
All right, you have one more here?
I do have one more.
Oh, I like this one.
This is one you actually picked out and found for me. It's the PhantomOne desktop.
Ooh.
And I thought this was pretty interesting. It's basically a mini desktop PC, a full-fledged PC with all the parts already built into it. That's about the size of a 6-pack of beer.
Okay, so that's pretty small.
Yeah, definitely on the mini ITX scale there. But it's got very full-featured horsepower and hardware. I think they use a GTX 670.
Did Hardware Connects make their video for them?
It would appear so, based on the high level of quality.
They have sort of this glowing lighting and soft pans going on.
Yes, they do.
Yes.
I wouldn't be surprised if
Actually, no, this isn't quite up to Hardware Connect's quality. It looks nice though. So
yeah.
Are there pictures?
There are
this
pictures.
Video isn't getting to the point.
You can get kind of like a black shell, which looks okay, I guess.
Yeah.
But then you look at the full bamboo version.
This is the
It looks
eye-catching
amazing.
one.
Yeah. So it's definitely some eye candy.
So it looks like these are probably like maybe laser. I don't know how they cut holes in bamboo like that, but it almost looks like there's like
it's been laser etched or something.
yeah. Well, it's like there's burn marks like on the edges, which looks kind of cool, right?
Is that what
I'm
that
getting on the
is?
grilling? I don't know. To some degree, I mean, just where those are cut out, because if it's
Right.
bamboo, you can cut bamboo pretty fine. I just don't know the techniques for actually cutting it that precise in like a machine fashion.
It does kind of
Oh,
have
that's
like
really
a
cool,
burnt
though.
look. Yeah.
Yeah.
And obviously that's ventilation for your components right there as well.
And we want, how much do they want?
For this one, I think it's
$299
but
for the bamboo
that's for the
case.
bamboo case. The non-bamboo
Yeah,
case.
$300 isn't outrageous for a custom specialty, or I mean, somewhat custom kind of specialty case.
Right.
I mean, Inwin seems to be able to keep cranking out stuff like that.
So here are the full specs of what's inside. It's running Windows 7 64, Z97i Plus with Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. That's the motherboard. It's got a 4790K, 16 gigs of DDR3, GTX 970. I think I said 670 earlier. I don't know why. With 4 gigs of GDDR5, and 128 gig solid state drive. They don't say which one it is, although it does say solid state plus a 1 terabyte hard drive. I'm wondering if that's a hybrid drive or 2 separate drives.
I'm also like they're listing specs here, but the it seemed more of a Kickstarter just for the case.
That's what I'm thinking. So I'm not sure why they list all of the.
Or maybe they're just saying here is that just like an example system that they built in that case?
Yeah, probably, possibly. Yeah, I think you're right. Because there's no way you'd get that for $300.
Yeah, 300 would be. I would do that Kickstarter, $300 for that whole system in that case. That'd be sweet.
Yes.
I would go for that.
To fund.
Oh yeah.
Definitely to fund.
Oh yeah.
But I would definitely ask for a sample to review. I would do that.
Yeah, sure.
Yep.
I'm sure they're watching this live stream right now.
Of course.
Okay. All right, so that's and is that the end of your segment?
I think that was it.
All right.
That's pretty much it.
And that is what we're trying to do. We're trying to have segments.
Yes, we're trying to get organized, and
so that was Kyle's segment, which is called
To Fund.
To Fund or Not to Fund. And I don't know. Of all those, I think the game is probably the best bet.
Absolutely, yeah.
That does. I mean, maybe it's the hype of the videos and stuff like that, but that strafe game seemed. If it turns out the way they're demoing it, looks pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah. I could see us playing that in the future.
All right. Next up, Kyle has another fun thing.
Yes. All right. So this is another segment that I came up with. It's called Face Off. And everything is still kind of like all the segment ideas that I have are still kind of in beta. I mean, more like alpha, pretty much.
Yeah.
Pre-alpha. But my idea that I had for this segment would be for you and I to play a game, like a really simple game. Mm-hmm. Today we have Slime Volley. If you guys are familiar with the old Flash games, like the Slime Ball series. But we would play like a couple rounds. I would say like 5 rounds, and just go back and forth. Each round takes anywhere from 5 to 10 seconds, so they're all really quick. But in the end, whoever loses has to pay a penalty. And each episode of the show that we do, the penalty will change. And I've also even narrowed it down to 3 possible outcomes of penalties. And we're going to use a random generator to decide what the penalty will actually be.
What are they?
I included all the links in the outline page, but we can cross that bridge when we get to it.
All right, so we're gonna go. So no one's gonna know what the penalty is.
Well, they will, and they will after. Okay, let's give them the choices right now. So the penalty choices: whoever loses is either going to have to, 1, speak in a British accent for the rest of my segment.
Okay.
All right. Or 2, the second penalty would be you have to post on your personal Twitter, in quotes, "I should really build PCs naked more often."
I'll post that right now.
I already posted it.
Then I win.
And then the third penalty is we have to make a funny face to the camera, like right now in this video, and basically give you guys an opportunity to screenshot that.
Okay.
And the rest is history. Do whatever you want with
it.
All
right.
And
so we'll get some meme fodder.
Exactly.
Perhaps.
Exactly.
All right. Cool. This sounds very exciting. So, to play multiplayer in this game, you select single player,
right,
and then you select your opponent to be human.
Mm-hmm.
Now, another random thing here is that Kyle's got his keyboard over here. If you'll notice,
this is really cool.
This is a CM Storm Rapid Eye or Quickfire Rapid Eye.
Yeah.
Which is actually piggybacked off of a Corsair K95.
Out of the USB 2.0.
Out of the USB port on it, which I don't know. I'm sure, could be done.
We're probably the first people in history
to plug a keyboard into a keyboard. That's insane.
There's no need for that. All right.
So Kyle's serving.
I'm green and Paul's orange. Are you ready?
I think so.
All right, let's bring it.
Come
on.
Oh, so you jump to give it more velocity?
Yeah, you can jump.
The other thing that I did not ask Kyle before he suggested this game was how much practice he has actually had.
Well, you know what? I used to play it back in the day when I was a lot younger, like in high school with my buddies. But since then, I have not played it at all. Like this, it just came to me. I was trying to think of a really... Oh, sorry.
I might as well just cratered there. That's okay. I recovered.
Okay.
I recovered quickly. Ooh, you like that? You like
that?
No!
Pop-up?
Couldn't handle the pop-up.
That was pure luck. You
wait,
cheater.
It's my serve now.
All right, so I guess we're doing 6. So the first one to 6 wins.
Okay, hopefully this won't take too long.
No, it probably won't.
There we go. There we go.
Come on, this
That's
is
an
entertaining,
ace.
right?
That's an ace right.
I hate when the ball goes too high and I can't see where it's going.
So, originally Kyle wanted to play this game and only this game every show.
I figure, that might get old.
My suggestion was that there's so many possibilities for this sort of thing. And don't get me wrong, we're not going to like sit here and play this for a while. Actually, one thing that we are probably going to be doing is live streaming some games later tonight on our Twitch channels.
That's right.
Oops,
Ooh.
I died. But I'm getting off topic. But for this on our show on Awesome Hardware, we are looking for other suggestions, other possibilities.
Yes.
There's a ton of like NES ROMs that I would love. Oh, geez, wow. How did I get out of that?
That was pure skill. Oh my god. All right.
There's a ton of NES ROMs that I'd love to play, but I'm worried about Nintendo on that one. But I know there's maybe some other ones like. You never played TurboGrafx 16, did you?
I don't think so.
Okay. Well.
Wait. Oh god.
Oh,
I wasn't.
sorry.
No!
I'm sorry.
All right. You have to eat one.
All right.
You have to eat one.
I'll eat one when it's your when you're
this
serving.
table is so bent that the keyboard is just teetering.
That table.
Here, maybe I'll go like
Yeah,
this.
you can do that.
That's all right.
That's
All
fine.
right. Oh, that's better.
We're all still in the shot.
You get a
Okay.
handicap.
Here we go.
All right.
What was I talking about though?
Games.
Yeah, like TurboGrafx 16 game. I don't know. We'll find an
I've never
emulator.
played that.
That was terrible.
Oh.
All right. So
no.
so there I took a fall there intentionally. I counted for taking the fall, right?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. What other game? I mean, crap. All the classic ones I can think of are Nintendo. Like the ones that I would want to just play for the sake of nostalgia and that sort of thing.
Speaking of like a really old arcade game or something, like just an emulator for that.
Oh, there's we could do like MAME, like the MAME emulator, and find some older arcade games and stuff like that.
That would be cool.
Oh, that was terrible.
Oh boy.
Yeah. What was my favorite arcade game I used to play was the Iron Man Ivan Stewart's the motor or the where you in the trucks. The motocross? It's not motocross. It's truck racing.
Dirt?
Yes.
3?
It's Iron. Oh, that was awful. Whoa,
all right. So I think I won.
Kyle won.
Yay!
Yay, Kyle!
Oh, thank God.
Thank God that is over.
So much pressure.
That was. All right, now we need to choose.
Out of all today's AAA titles, this one stresses me out the most.
Now I need to choose.
You gotta choose. I'm gonna make you do it too. You have to choose your own fate.
British accents. Oh no, we're supposed to do random.org.
Yeah, go to random.org. So again, number one is he has to speak Spanish. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, Iron Man Ivan Stewart's Off-Road. That's what it was called. Thank you, Fox Alive.
Oh, cool. Thank you.
Fantastic.
All right, so number one is speak in a British accent for the rest of my segments. Number two is post on Twitter. I should really build PCs naked more often.
Okay.
And number three is you have to make a funny face so everyone can meme you.
All right.
What's it gonna be?
We'll show everyone the.
Yeah, so they know we're not cheating. Letting you off easy.
Sure. Yeah.
I'm so excited.
2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I think that was probably like one of the best ones.
Wait, was that the Twitter?
Yep.
All right, that's easy. I can do that right now.
Yeah, go for it.
You do that.
Man,
right now.
I should have made it more horrible.
You know, it's really funny. I need to change my shortcuts for these. Every time I do the hotkey to switch the camera, we're using OBS to stream right now, by the way. Every time I do the hotkey to switch the camera, it opens a new tab in Chrome. All right. So
go ahead and tweet that out, and I'm gonna go ahead and
build PCs naked more often. And Kyle has another segment coming right up.
I've got 2 more segments. This one's a pretty quick one, so it should go by fairly quick. It's called #trending, and basically refers to all the trending topics on Twitter. So usually on Twitter, like when you're at the home page, you can see on the left column all of the trending hashtags that people are doing. So I figured Paul and I could take a stab at one of those and kind of create our own.
I tweeted.
Oh, you tweeted. You just tweeted.
I added a happy face.
You said it like you farted, like I tweeted. Hee.
That's
hee. All right, good job, Paul.
All right.
Good game. So basically, today's hashtag that's trending, as many of you might know. Well, first off, it's Pancake Day.
That's why it's trending. Is today like National Pancake Day?
Today is Pancake. I don't know if it's Well, yeah, I don't think it's a worldwide thing.
It's just,
It can't be worldwide. I don't think people in Asia are celebrating pancakes today.
well, they should.
But it is National
damn it.
Pancake Day. For those of you, I didn't even know that until I logged on to Twitter this morning. So
makes me happy.
the trending hashtag going around is ruin a movie with a pancake.
Okay.
So basically, what the deal is there is people are replacing a word in the title of a movie with the word pancake, and potentially ruining it for the rest of us. So
Does that really ruin the? How do you search for a Twitter hashtag?
I mean, I guess it would change the meaning
Not logged
of
in
what
either.
that. It would change like the whole plot. It would change everything about the movie if you replace that one word with pancake. Right.
It would.
It would.
That would change many movies.
Pretty much every one. So there were a couple, and I was pretty disappointed when I went to check out what people were posting about it, because I felt like a lot of them were just not up to par to my standards of pancakedness.
There we go.
But I was thinking we could just maybe go back and forth and try to fire off a few. This is a pretty useless segment, I've realized, but there's some. Okay.
There's some fantastic. So, do you have any ideas? Did you already have? You have prepared?
Yeah.
Pancake movie names.
Well, yeah, this is my segment. You know, you'll be more prepared for your segment.
The one that popped into my head immediately was Dances with Pancakes.
That's actually really good. I like that.
Always an epic story of one man's struggle.
To dance with,
To dance with pancakes.
Nothing could be farther from a wolf than a pancake. That is true. A couple I came up with: Pancake Unchained instead of Django Unchained.
Oh god,
Yeah.
that's a.
Tarantino.
Oh no!
Oh, no. All right.
no.
So we knew this would happen.
Nobody move.
Nobody panic.
Everyone, calm down. The stream is still going.
Shut her
Actually,
on
this is a
pulse
good
camera.
time for it to happen because it only made the bottom right-hand corner of the screen black, not the whole screen.
Oh, that's good.
That's all right. All right, we're back.
All right.
Sorry about that, everyone.
I have to crawl under the table every time that happens, so it's that kind of show.
This is awesome.
Sorry, you had to
I'm so
witness
glad. I'm so glad for everything. Yeah, so we've actually been trying to get a live show going for a few weeks now, and we've run into just random issues here and there.
A lot
'cause
goes into it.
We want it to be good for you guys, or at least somewhat well put together. And one of the things is the camera we're using is my 5D Mark II, and although I have constant power to it and everything, it has an auto shut off after a while, which even with Magic Lantern I can't seem to disable. But anyway,
We'll figure it out as we go.
are we going on with the pancake thing?
Just all right. Is that the only one you had? All right, I'll just
I
read
could
off.
go on.
Okay, I'll read off a couple that I just thought of. The Last Pancake.
Okay.
So The Last Samurai.
All right.
Things get pretty intense in that one. The Hunger Games Catching Pancake.
Catch.
If
All
that
right.
worked out. Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Pancake.
We have 50 Shades of Pancake.
50 Shades of Pancake.
Yes.
Of course. Black Pancake Down.
Black.
I don't know why it's so stupid.
Why? That's just silly.
I know.
That's incredibly
I
silly.
know. It just makes me think of like a burnt pancake. You know, it's like not only is it burnt, but it fell down.
Pancakes of the Caribbean. It's no wonder.
Caribbean pancakes sound delicious. I've never had one. I don't even know if they exist, but they sound good.
It's no wonder this has trended so well today, because it's really one of those universal messages that yeah.
Did that say
Down
half
with
caked
pancake.
instead of half baked?
Half caked. There we go. Look.
That's great.
Wow,
he
good
beats
job,
me.
Austin, with the photoshopping there. The girl with the pancake tattoo. With the visual of that
That's
one
the
as
best
well.
one I've heard all
That's
day.
a good one. I like that. Good
great.
job, Carol Ann Shaw. Okay. Are we good? I cut it off.
Okay, all right. That's enough pancake.
We could go on forever.
I'm good with the pancakeage.
All right.
All right, so that was that segment.
That was that segment.
That was that segment.
We're
Yes.
moving into serious stuff next, aren't we?
Yes, we are. It's
Well,
about to take a turn.
In that case, you should have put a link on this story that you wanted me to talk about.
Wait, which one?
Amazon's 1-hour delivery service.
Oh, I forgot that one. It's cool.
That's all right. You keep talking, and I'll see what I can do.
All right, cool. All right, so the next segment we're going to go into is pretty standard. It's news. So
News.
all kinds of news,
Oh,
mostly
yeah.
tech news, but you guys are all familiar with this sort of thing. So the first one I found was Fractal Design, our friends at Fractal Design. Josh, if you're watching this, I love you sometimes. They're coming out with some new fans. So they're new
Yeah.
Silent Series R3 fans.
Ooh.
Yeah, very sexy. I'll tell you a little bit about those first. They are keeping with the white blades with the black frames. So aesthetically, not too much change. But they are kind of expanding like the size orientation, size options for their fans.
They have
They're
black blades too.
those are for the Dynamic Series fans.
Oh,
So there's actually 2 offerings. That
I
they're
did
gonna
not
do.
read
And
this
That's
story.
actually more interesting, I think, than the R3. So that's why I'm saving it for later.
I see.
But as far as the Silent Series R3s go, they are built more for the mainstream system builder, I would say. A wide variety of sizes ranging from 92 millimeters to the standard 120 and 140. They even go down to 40 millimeters, I believe. So getting pretty tiny. It'd be cute to have.
We
a
see 40, 50,
millimeter
60, 80, 92,
R3.
120, and 140.
Okay.
That is very small.
Yeah, a 40 millimeter. I think it'd be cute to have on my desk, cooling me down.
Oh yeah, that would be nice.
So definitely more for the budget-oriented system builder as well. They are more competitively priced than the Dynamic Series fans. They aren't PWM, just like the R2s were not PWM, but the RPM is rated low enough for pretty much silent operation, or at least very, very quiet, as we've seen in the past. So basic specs: 1,000 RPM for the 140 millimeter, 1,200 RPM for the 120, and 1,500 RPM for the 92 millimeter. No specs were given for the 40 millimeter fan because it probably spins at 5,000 RPM.
I want to do a system build using only the 40 millimeter fans.
Ooh.
But like
A mini ITX
20 of them.
in a 900D.
No, I would want to use like that Antec Landboy Air, but no.
You
that
should do a
wouldn't
full
work.
for your full custom water cooled loop system.
Just all 40 like
Make some tiny little radiators.
find these crazy radiators like 40 millimeters with like 10. It's like a 400 millimeter radiator. 10
Paul's adorable water
10.
cooling rig.
10 40 millimeter fans. That's awesome.
All right,
yeah.
so and then they're also coming out with their Dynamic Series fans, which is
The wrong
truly
wrong
news.
button.
News to us. So these are built for more premium system builders, slightly higher price range, but they feature increased performance, higher quality hydraulic bearing as well. Size offerings only include 120 and 140, which I don't think many ambitious system builders will mind, that those are the only 2 sizes available. And these are the ones that will be available in white blades or black blades.
Ah,
So that's cool. That's really cool.
Sweet.
I like that. Again, 1,000 RPM for 140 millimeter, 1,200 RPM for 120, and slightly lower noise than the Silent Series R3s at about 19.5
they have a
decibels.
tripwire.
And they have a tripwire.
I don't know why.
I don't either.
The
I
presence
missed
of
that
the
part in article.
tripwire overall provides a more efficient and quiet fan environment.
Huh.
That seems like 2 statements that are independently not related to each
But
other,
they
but they just put them
mashed them
together
together?
in the same sentence.
Got to talk to the PR at Fractal.
That's okay though.
But
Cool.
and there was just a bit of there was pricing as well. So for the R3s you're looking at $8 or $9 depending on whether you get the 120 or the 140 millimeter fan, and for the Dynamic Series you're looking at $11 or $12
Okay.
respectively. Yep.
Nice.
So
That's
that
not
was
bad.
cool. Yeah. Did you ever find the Amazon link?
I did,
Oh,
or
good.
at least I found one. Is it TechCrunch?
Yes.
Cool.
Yes, I believe it was.
I did find it.
So just a quick little update
Internet
on
sleuth.
what Amazon's up to. They're doing a 1-hour delivery service now, which is going live across the entire island of Manhattan. Whereas before it was just going to be a very small and very expensive part of Manhattan, but they've just announced that it's going mainstream. It's going
That's good.
the whole enchilada
So
of Manhattan.
originally they were just going to focus on like a very small and affluent portion.
Yes, exactly. And I don't know if they changed the pricing at all, because the pricing seems pretty reasonable now. If they were just targeting a really affluent area, it makes me feel like they were going to be charging quite a bit for 1-hour delivery. But it's $7.99. You can tack that on to the already free 2-hour delivery, which is only available from 6 a.m. to 12 a.m. Still pretty good.
Okay.
But for an additional $8, you can get like straight up 1-hour delivery. But here's the catch: it's not for every item that's on Amazon, right? And that's pretty expected. It's mostly for like generic or general household items. So paper towels, toilet paper, maybe some dish soap, things that you might actually need in an hour. Although, you know, for people like us, and probably for some of them, it's like, I actually need a CPU in an hour.
If I need toilet paper, it's usually less than an hour.
It's usually 5 minutes ago.
Most of the time.
Right. So, okay, so yeah, paper towel, shampoo, books. You can get a book in an hour, sure. Rush the book. Toys, you need your toy now. Cannot wait.
They shouldn't offer anything that you can download.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion.
True. Well, you can't download. Oh, you mean books?
Books,
I was like,
yeah.
What
Not that
toys are
I.
downloadable?
Also, I should be like, ooh, look, action, things are moving. Okay, cool.
Yes.
Sorry about that.
And the products are available exclusively through their dedicated companion app that you would have to use.
Okay.
So that's kind of interesting. But that's pretty much it. Just wanted to briefly fill you guys in with what Amazon's up to. I think that's pretty ambitious of them, and I'm curious to see how quickly, if at all, does this service spread out to other parts of the country.
Well, it makes a lot of sense in metropolitan areas.
Yeah.
I mean, anywhere that you can hit a large section of people with minimum investment as far as like manpower and fuel and that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, whenever I'm in large cities, like in Taiwan and that sort of thing, I always gain some appreciation for some of the things that you can get like at any hour of the day,
Right.
in that environment. But
Definitely.
which is just doesn't make sense to in places where stuff's more spread out or more rural areas. But all right, moving right along.
Next story is Atari.
Atari.
They're rebooting Asteroids.
Okay.
It's going to be called Asteroids Outland.
Asteroids Outpost.
Outpost. That's right. It's basically
It's
a
a
rebooting of the original.
A sandbox survival game.
It's a sandbox survival game, so it's really nothing like the original. Although they're like, yeah, it's totally going to be friendly to people.
It is in
like
that
the classic.
in that a sandbox can be square shaped, and the original Asteroids was that same size of a field of play.
That's a bit of a stretch.
Although if you run out of one side of a sandbox, you don't reappear at the other side of a sandbox.
That's a good point.
Increments. That is where the analogy breaks down.
Dun dun dun. Philosophy with Paul. So basically, this is going to be taking place on a massive, unforgiving asteroid, in their words. You're going to be a character in space,
Okay.
in deep space, and you're going to be tasked with missions and challenges of exploring the universe, mining resources, scavenging for ore. Sounds exciting. And crafting and defending your customized base from asteroids, presumably.
Okay.
So there is a bit of, I guess, ode to the original in the fact that you have to defend your base from random showers of asteroids. Make sure that you stay alive there, but it's probably going to have some better graphics, I would think.
Yeah, Asteroids is one of those games that like you don't hear a lot of people calling for a refresh or an update
Right.
of. I mean, it is a classic game. I do remember playing it many years ago, and I remember I've even played different variations of it. Shoot, what's it called? Winroids. Did anyone out there ever play Winroids? It was like for Windows XP, just a little standalone game you could play, and you'd pop up, and it was like Asteroids, but they added more to it. There was like some power-ups you could get and that sort of thing in different levels. Played a lot of Winroids, I remember. Just one of those fun little addictive games. But yeah, Asteroids is like Pong, you know, you don't see a lot of Pong remakes.
Right. That would be weird. I don't know how they'd remake that.
Interesting though.
The ball would be 3D. That's the only difference. But yeah,
All right.
It's developed by Salty Games, just really quick, who are some industry veterans, if you will, who also worked on Black Ops 2, Call of Duty Ghosts, and Star Trek Online. So definitely not just an indie game by
Okay.
any means. So
Cool.
that's all for that one. And the last article that I have on hand for my segment, and this is actually the last bit of my segment before we shift over to Paul, is Mars One. I don't know if you've heard of Mars One, Paul, but they're a non-profit Danish organization. I forget if it's Danish or Dutch, but anyway, they're trying to send some people to Mars,
Okay.
and it's supposed to be a one-way trip, and they.
Look, there they are on the surface
There
of
they
Mars
are.
right now.
I know it's already happened.
Oh, it's Camp Mars
Oh,
in Utah.
that's adorable. But basically, they need volunteers, right, to go volunteer their lives, literally, for science, For science.
For science.
So they gathered about 200,000 applicants, and out of that 200,000, they chose 100 candidates to actually go to Mars. And they finally picked their final list of the 100 candidates that are going to be going.
Cool.
Which is just a trip. I'm blown away that they had 200,000 applicants. 200,000 people are just like, yep, send me to Mars. I'm never coming back.
Believe it or not, space exploration tends to inspire some spark of creativity or something more in people.
Well, yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, also just, I don't know.
Look at these.
The thought of never coming back is kind of
folks.
daunting. But regardless, so the way they're doing it is they're not going to send all 100 at once. They're going to break them up into groups of 24, I believe. So it's 6 crews of 4 individuals will travel to the red planet every 2 years. Every 2 years from 2014. So this is definitely going to be sometime in the future when they start sending people out. But the whole goal of the main mission is to colonize. To colonize
Utah, which is really just a very noble endeavor for anyone. Utah is a barren wasteland.
Those aren't Martians.
But really, I think beneath that soil, there is fertility.
Nothing. It's just more.
How long I could keep that up.
But yeah, it's definitely not that. Also interesting information, they're estimating a 7-month travel time to get to Mars.
What?
So you'll be in a spaceship, you'll be in a rocket for 7 months before you touch down on the red planet.
Lost my train of thought there.
I think where we left off was we were talking about Mars 1.
Mars, Utah.
Yes.
Canada.
Utah, yeah. Somehow Utah got thrown in there.
Canada? I don't know where Canada came from. Anyway.
But so we were talking about how MIT did the study that they would only last 68 days on Mars, and you were like, well, how are they gonna procreate and stuff, to colonize the planet? I don't know. I'm just telling you what I read in the article. I don't know if there's, well, I know there's probably some scientific backing because MIT or whatever.
The Mars Death March. Death flight.
Just doesn't sound very promising.
What do you talk about in the space shuttle on your way to Mars? Like, what are we gonna do in our 3 months before we die?
Yeah.
Like,
I'd be pissed if I spent 7 months getting to Mars and only got to live on it for 2.
Yeah.
That's kind of disappointing.
So,
I would procreate as much as I could though while I was there.
So surprised that 200,000 people volunteered for that, I guess, would be the main point.
Yes, exactly. So I don't know. People. This is kind of a mixed bag of people. A lot of the 100 are scientists and academics who are doing it strictly for science. But then there's also a sizable group of that portion who are just regulars like you, me, and you guys who just want the adventure and are just looking for a thrill. And the experience, I guess, of
well, you probably also get your name on a list, like one of the
definitely.
first people.
Right. I mean, they will undoubtedly,
Mars.
even if they die in the first 24 hours, I mean, they're still going down in history forever.
Yeah.
This is huge. This is totally huge. But it's just interesting. And, they're doing training and preparation. They have, like, a Mars simulator. That's not actually Mars, as we figured out.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Very strikingly simple. Blue sky is what gives it away, though.
Yeah, definitely. No blue skies in space.
They need to do some more post-production on this video, I think.
I feel like this is easily a movie. In fact, there's a TV show, I think, like a really terrible TV show called The 100, where it's about, except it's like,
like the first 100 Mars colonists?
Like basically Earth fell to shit because, humans raped the hell out of it, and then they all had to migrate to space, and then they spent, years and years later, they send 100 people back down to Earth to see if it's habitable again. But this is like the opposite. It's like the inverse of that.
Like in WALL-E.
Sending 100 to a distant... Yeah, like WALL-E. So I feel like this is just like, oh, we saw this done in the movies. It's totally possible. But Godspeed and good luck to the 100.
All of you, anyone who's going to Mars.
God be with you.
That's back, and we're back again.
Oh, Jesus.
Well, that's on auto reconnect.
So on for my third and final outro, I just got to make this quicker every time.
Yeah.
Buy a shirt, go to my merch store, awesomesaucenetwork.com, pick up a shirt or a hoodie. there. Also go to Paul's store, paulshardware.net. Pick up a Paul's Hardware shirt. And thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for part 2. Hopefully it doesn't drop as much as this one did. And we'll be right back in a minute.
And if you're watching this in the future and you want to see part 2, then it's on my channel, Paul's Hardware.
Yes.
Yes. Be right back.